So good afternoon. So we're going to start our webcast in just a couple of minutes here, waiting for some folks to log on. Be right with you. Once again, this is Todd with Mad Mobile. We're going to start our webcast in just a couple of minutes, probably 3 minutes after the hour, waiting for some folks to get logged on. Thanks. All right, good afternoon. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This is Tod Monchecourt with Mad Mobile. I'm the Chief Growth Officer over here at Mad Mobile, and welcome to our webcast on the future of point of sale and connected commerce. Really excited today to present to you guys. For those of you who don't know who Mad Mobile is, we are a point of sale modernization company. So we've created some really unique technology that sits on top of legacy point of sale systems like NCR Aloha and Oracle Micro Symphony and a variety of others, and helps our restaurant and retail customers act like very modern retailers and restaurants. So virtually enabling them to set up or light up any type of digital or mobile journey that they can dream of. And we do this all in existing point of sale. We do this both for retail and restaurants. We've been doing it for a very, very long time. We've got tens of thousands of storefronts and restaurants running our technology in production today. So really excited to bring to you today some content that we've been working on with Salesforce. Salesforce has been a great go-to-market partner for us. And so we're working with Commerce Cloud and some other technologies at Salesforce to bring to life a very, very exciting product into the market. We've had some great early success. And with me today is Lindsey Nelson. And in terms of the agenda, Lindsey's going to be helping me cover a few topics today. She's going to start off with giving us a reflection on some industry trends that she's been seeing and that Salesforce has been working to solve in restaurants. We're also going to talk about how we're meeting these challenges with our joint solutions. We're going to talk a little bit about connected commerce and why we feel that's really the future of point of sale. Then we're going to cover a very quick case study and then wrap up with some questions and answers. So if you have any questions during our session today, please click on the Q&A button at the very bottom of your screen. We'll be happy to answer those when we finish our content at the bottom of the hour. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Lindsey, and she's going to bring us some pertinent information on the industry. Lindsey?
Awesome. Thank you, Todd. You can hear me okay?
Fine. You sound great.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for inviting us in and having us today. It's such an exciting yet continuously challenging time in the market. And I know many of us are aware of it. As we look across the current state of the industry for 2022 and really understanding, again, not only what the new normal looks like, but how it's continuing to evolve and change, there's a lot of challenges that are facing these restaurants today. Obviously, many are sharing 52% much higher operating costs than ever before. And that's a direct reflection of not only labor inflation and labor shortages, but cost of goods sold, supply chain issues, and other things. What we're actually finding as we look across the board, 78% of QSR operators say that they are going to make a greater use of technology and automation in 2022. And it's definitely the momentum has already started and it's just progressing significantly. And there's so many different areas that we can talk about technology and automation, but I'm excited to talk about how Mad Mobile's leaning into that today to really help with the single point of truth that starts with every customer interaction, which is that point of sale and that order. Two-thirds are actually saying they believe, and we agree, that a lot of the technology lean in here will offset some of these issues with labor shortages and staffing turnover. We often say protect your people to do what only they can do and bookend that with technology to help them be their best selves, not only when serving and preparing the food, but also obviously servicing the guest and really driving that experiential loyalty. And there is a slow recovery that we just have to take into consideration. And many of you in some of these markets, such as New York and California, have been a little slower to rebound as others, primarily just due to dine-in restrictions and openings and closures. However, 40% of full service dining with large staffing needs are still not operating at full capacity either. So again, some may find 50% are actually saying it could be more than a year before they feel like they're really returning to normal. As we move to the next slide, the financial performance across the board, the US making a significant portion of this, being 37% of the total restaurant and QSR financial market globally. We're finding a lot of things. Obviously, the initial projection for this industry was 899 billion, yet to be adjusted down by 240 billion to 659 for 2022. And this is coming from the National Restaurant Association and many others. And so while we expected a contraction, some can say, thank God it was only that amount. Others are saying, okay, great, there's still the opportunity to go back after, again, some of that share and ideally exceed the 659 billion number. We talked about a lot of the challenges of lower profit margins, higher labor cost, and staffing levels. And so again, you all as operators are constantly asking and inquiring and leaning into and making operational adjustments on how do you offset those labor numbers. Because again, you don't have to necessarily dine in to dine in anymore. You can order ahead, you can grab and go, you can have it delivered, or you can order ahead and just hope to skip the line and be seated faster. So there's so many opportunities that the consumer expectations as a result of the last year and a half, almost 2 years now, have really started to transform the digital engagement of what it's like to be a restaurant owner and operator, and then of course to be a guest. So looking into the future, supply chain, labor, and inventory inflation will eventually settle. How quickly? We don't know, right? It's changing every day. Turn off your TV if you don't want to be depressed. But in all seriousness, technology investments in new operating models are continuing to excel, and many of which will be a new normal for the business and for the industry. As we go into the next conversation, I'm really excited to just talk about, again, the word on the street and what we're hearing. So digital's clearly here to stay. And these are coming directly from you guys and some of your peers, right? Contactless off premise is totally a new normal. It doesn't even have to be contactless off premise. And so I'm excited for Mad Mobile to share more about the contactless on premise. Now hiring, now hiring, now hiring. It's again where it is. And supply chain and inflation continues to change the models. One of the strongest things that we continue to hear from executives like yourself is even though the restaurant technology felt like it was probably 10 years behind retail, they're all racing to catch up. And retail will even tell you it was 5 years behind some of the other industries that we as consumers have become conditioned to interact with, such as banking and finance and hospitality and things that we really can do our day-to-day wants and needs from a simple swipe and click of a phone. And so how and why doesn't that transcend into other areas of our life? And then it's an investor's market. So not sure of the audience on the call overall from a franchise business model expectation or setup, but it is an investor's market. And those that are leading those brands and concepts that are more digital first are far more attractive. to those with high wealth and capital to spend. So this is what we're hearing. Would love to hear from you guys as we get to the Q&A section. And from there, yep, you can go ahead, Todd. From there, I'm going to turn it over to the Mad Mobile team to really talk about when we double down on digital, the dollars flow much faster, much better. And again, the overall consumer experience is really dynamic and fun. And experience drives loyalty. Loyalty drives recency, frequency, and margin, which is what we all want. So Todd, excited to turn it over to you.
Thanks, Lindsey. And so you and I have been on the road a little bit lately. So we were at Connections in Chicago last week. Before that, we held an event at the Restaurant Association, also in Chicago. And it's funny, I hear the same things when I was at Apple leading the go-to-market for a restaurant here in the United States. The same issues and problems around digital that folks had pre-pandemic, they now have the same exact issue, but with a greater sense of urgency and more technical debt. Because I think what's happened, if you look at existing legacy point of sale systems, and every major operator knows this, right? These systems were never designed for mobile. They were never designed for a world, where somebody was walking around with a phone in their pocket and there was potential kiosks that were available for ordering. There were aggregators bringing all of these different digital orders together to be processed by this point of sale that was designed in 1980 or 1990. And so, a lot of
Did
these
we even have phones in 1980 and 1990?
That's right.
I mean, let's call that digital disconnect what it truly is, right?
That's right. So a lot of folks are rushing out, and they bought these point solutions that were like QR code ordering, on my legacy point of sale, and they try to connect them, and they just increased technical debt, more points of failure. Customers got confused, and I think, trying to provide that seamless experience at the curb or, from somebody's mobile device for restaurants that weren't Panera or Chipotle, that were ahead of the curve, they're investing in digital very early, it became a really poor and disjointed experience. And so, restaurants are asking, like, how do we get out of this? We can't rip and replace these systems we've had in place for 20 years. There's way too much of an investment there, and we'd have to stop our entire operation and spend millions of dollars. And so we thought long and hard about this, and we started to collaborate very closely with Salesforce engineering on, like, how do we solve this at scale for true enterprise companies? And our idea is, like, there really is a solution in the market that we can solve this with today. And I think, many restaurants, have experimented, they've failed, but what we've designed with Salesforce, which we'll cover in just a few moments here, really is the best of both worlds. We can deliver this into the market very, very quickly, and we could scale it. And we're doing this with several brands today. We got started earlier this year. We signed a bunch of QSR concepts and some wineries, and we're seeing some great results, and I'm very excited about what we're about to embark on here. So, you think about the modern mobile first solution, we hear a lot of customers want to do things like tableside ordering, and they've tried solutions from their current provider like Aloha, and they've just struggled to deliver that at scale. Dine-in mobile ordering, customers being able to order on their own phone but collaborate with servers in real time. I mean, these are realities that every consumer and diner expects today. And if you can't deliver to the next generation, you're kind of dead in the water. And so just providing a self-order kiosk. I mean, there's a lot of point solutions where you have to manage all your data in different locations in order to pull together these experiences. And what we thought about is we create a connected platform, that had all these different components seamlessly in one of the top e-commerce platforms in the world, and bring that great e-commerce experience in store. We'd have a true multi-channel experience. We could actually deliver on the omni-channel promise that we heard so much about, back in 2012, 2015, when customers were really trying to do this. So with Commerce Cloud, we've been able to do is configure, enterprise class menus for in-store processing and above store processing, ability to build in pricing and promotion engines directly into the single source of truth. We have a scheduling engine that we built out, the ability to order from a fixed point of sale, a mobile point of sale, consumers ordering on their own desktops through aggregators, all these components coming together in Commerce Cloud. And we're able to take all that data because we now have a full cloud-based solution that's leveraging legacy point of sale that can now make recommendations based on previous order history or loyalty information and preferences. It's very, very much more powerful than the static experience you have today with your current point of sale. And then finally, seamless loyalty and CRM, because now we're fully in a cloud environment with Salesforce, which is the top cloud provider in the world. And so we're really, really excited about the early results we've seen with this solution. And one of the solutions as just a component, when we talk about a platform that serves all this up, there's just one simple solution I wanted to point to today that we were first to market with, which is really our Dynamobile ordering solution. And we'll cover a little bit about what this looks like in our case study, but we've seen, just tremendous demand and great benefits in terms of enhanced guest experience, right? You get to control your own experience in the restaurant. Speed of service is double what it used to be because now I've got more control. The server can actually manage more tables. I can, check out when I'm ready to check out. We're growing average order value, and I'll cover some of that in my TCO slide or I slide a little bit later. But what I want to do first is just play a demo from this solution so you guys can actually see what it looks like in real time. And then I'll come back and we'll cover the case study and take some questions. So hold on one second, I'm going to get this going.
The mobile-first restaurant experience starts with a QR code. And here, our diner is able to enter the digital-first menu experience branded by the restaurant. Now, this is all powered by Commerce Cloud. And Commerce Cloud is able to surface all of the diner's account information, including their loyalty history and their loyalty program. So we can see the diner's name, their address, and any loyalty points or tiers that may be applicable. We can also see their past order history. And here we've clicked on one of our favorite menu items. All of this brings in real-time menu and pricing from the POS. And as our diner adds new sides, substitutions, or other menu items, all of that is happening in the cart powered by Commerce Cloud, bringing in real-time availability in inventory. Now, if you're a restaurant who manages multiple locations, you only have to manage your menus across those locations once. This can all be done centrally. It also can be managed centrally by servers. And we can see the iPad on the right-hand side. This order has now been sent off to the server who may be looking after this table, all in sync with the POS. And what's exciting here is that server is empowered to add more items to the check. So if the diner adds a new drink, orders through the server, that's all connected back to their digital dining experience on their own phone. And we can see that drink was added to their order and the customer was notified through a text message. Now, this isn't easy to do. Bring together all of the restaurant tech integrations within the restaurant together. But we're able to do that seamlessly through the power of Commerce Cloud and Mad Mobile. The customer can pay with Commerce Cloud using Apple Pay or entering in their credit card information. The POS is updated, the server is notified, and everything is connected. What's even more impressive is how connected this experience is to marketing and service engagements as well, bringing in the power of Salesforce Customer 360.
Right. Go back here and load our presentation. So pretty amazing. So that's just an early example of one of the use cases we built out on Commerce Cloud, but it shows the interaction and the possibilities of what we can do, leveraging legacy POS and the power of Salesforce, Commerce Cloud, Marketing Cloud, loyalty to really build out the entire experience for the diner in real time. And so we're super excited about that solution in the market. And we've already started to deploy to some major restaurants. Here's an example of just one of the tableside ordering customers that we had in market today and some of the benefits that they're seeing, right? So one of the biggest challenges that we've heard is, there's just not enough staff to bring these diners back into the restaurant and really provide a great experience. We're seeing just amazing ability to manage more tables. They're saying the same servers can now manage 5 tables when before they could only manage 3 because they no longer have to run back the POS. There's no heavy hardware or technology investments. In fact, we can deploy our solutions on any hardware. So it's not, you're not in this walled garden of your POS provider, managing on their hardware based on their roadmap and their development schedule. So you're able to sort of develop at your own scale and your own capacity. No staff training. We don't emulate the screen, but we have very deep integration that will point to exactly where those locations of buttons are in your existing application. So there's very, very little training on mobile applications. And of course, we're leveraging existing POS. So unless you're ready to rip and replace and go fully into the cloud, it's a great bridge solution for most of our customers. That's just not an option. So we saw, just in terms of the impact, and these are all real statistics that we've just measured this year. I'll move my thing over here. In a first day of launch at a very, very large casual dining restaurant that we're working with, they saw 81% of their orders going through mobile day one. So we've seen adoption like we've never seen. Servers are for this solution specifically, are just dying to get something that gets them more efficient, allows them to service more people at a time. When somebody orders a drink at a large table setting, that drink's out before the table has fully ordered. So it's just incredible speed of service improvement. Table turns by 5 minutes, and that's pretty amazing. 14% increase in table turns if you're trying to turn those tables faster, generate more revenue during busy times. And this one was the most amazing, and we were even surprised when we saw this 33% higher average order or average ticket value per ticket, because folks are able to order in real time, and they're able to order through a mobile device without somebody pressuring them to get the order to the server. And so we were shocked when we saw that amount, but we've seen those numbers with kiosks, and seeing them at the table is very, really exciting for us as well. So the ROI is just tremendous with this solution. We're super, super excited about it. But we're not just in restaurant. So we started in the retail industry. We've been working with Salesforce for a long time in retail. And this is just one example at Ralph Lauren, where we're rolling out a true connected commerce cloud experience in store for Ralph Lauren. So this is a big screen format where I can go up and I could see any inventory that's not in store, maybe new fall releases that are coming out, or when I'm trying to turn over inventory, or I've got seasonal promotions that aren't in store. I've just got a smaller footprint. The associates is enabling them. The store is enabling their associates to go to this large screen format and shoulder by shoulder sort of buy and search for items that aren't in the store or aren't available. They've seen a tremendous increase in sales in the stores that are running these solutions. So we're seeing this as it's just a great example of another connected in-store experience leveraging Salesforce and Commerce Cloud. So we're really excited about the work we're doing in retail as well. And so with that, I covered a lot of information in a very short amount of time. I'm going to pause, and we've got some questions in the queue, and we'll go ahead. Lindsay, any final comments before we go into questions?
I'll just say I get so excited every time we go through this, both as a consumer who experiences a lot of high occupancy dinners or lunches or post-ball. I can't help but walk into establishments and be like, why don't they have the solution, right? And then I love it for the wait staff. As a former, waitress myself, the faster I can turn the tables, the bigger the tips I get, and the more I want to, again, stay with that employer of choice. But bringing me best of breed technology to better do my job it's really a game changer. And it comes down to not only being a retention mechanism for the staff, but obviously an empowering mechanism for the staff. So thank you for your partnership on all of this.
It's been our pleasure, and it's been a lot of fun. And just to see this in action at a PF Chang's or a Texas Roadhouse, or we start to look at some of the smaller venues that are starting to run these solutions, and just the amount of tips, that tip volume that goes up because the service is so much better. And the waitress or waiter is now serving many, many more tables. They're able to make a lot more money, and the restaurants have to have less amount of dependency on that front of house staff. They can redeploy them for runners. They can redeploy them to do more quality around the food prep. It's been a win for everybody. And it's super, super exciting to be partnered with Salesforce and get this into the market. So thank you guys as well. So I'll pause. I think there's a moderator. Maybe we're going to ask some questions here and answer a few, and then we'll go ahead and break.
Yes, Todd and Lindsay, we do have a couple questions. Lindsay, I believe this is directed towards Salesforce. Do you see more hiring and applications as a result of inflation?
Do we see more hiring and applications for employment is what I'm guessing you're asking, as a result of unemployment or as a result of inflation?
Yeah, it doesn't specify, just applications as a result of inflation.
I definitely think to be realist, we're going to see people based on inflation and how they choose to spend their money, plus the lack of any kind of previous stimulus money that they had, starting to look to augment their existing income. Does that mean they're going to take on second jobs? Probably, particularly where needed. And, is the restaurant industry, like many others, very willing and hungry for some of that talent? Yes. So do I have definitive data and statistics showing all of this as of yet? No, but directionally, does that make sense? Absolutely.
Perfect. Thank you. Another question we received, what if a restaurant changes their menu from Salesforce and onto point of sale? Do they need to be trained for this?
Yeah, so I think this is where we're managing menu data. So a couple things here, right? So we are taking the data directly from the POS. So whatever is updated in the POS, let's call it Aloha, for instance, in CFC, that data is managed and updated in real time with the mobile devices in Commerce Cloud. So there's no latency at all. So if I X out an item on the menu or I add an item to the menu, there's only one location to manage that data, and it's managed in real time and it's available in real time. So that's one of the beauties of this solution. If you look at all the other point solutions that were out there, these QR code ordering where I had to like manage my data, like in Ola or Omnivore or some other third-party application, I had to keep that in sync with my in-store menus so that I wouldn't, be trying to serve things that I don't have, or have a pricing adjustment that wasn't available on one application but was available in store. We keep all that data in sync in real time, and that's really the beauty of this system. For the operator, it's much easier. They have to do nothing differently, but they get mobile in real time. And then in terms of training, because we're basically emulating the screen, we're not an emulator, so I want to make that clear. We can emulate essentially down to the color of the button, where the button is placed on the screen, so that when a server picks up a tablet, they're able to have zero training and be able to just fly with that application. And that's why we see such high adoption day one at Buffalo Wild Wings or Texas Red House. It's been really amazing for us.
Awesome. And we have one final question. How do they get started and how long might it take to set up?
Yeah, so the way we work is, we have a POS lab here in Tampa, Florida, where we probably have 85 different types of point of sale solutions. We can either, virtualize into your existing point of sale, make a connection there, and we can, set up the POS adapter in the Commerce Cloud instance running in real time, and show you how that would look in a lab environment, and show you transactions being posted and processed. Or we can actually take a physical copy of a POS. We've got, dozens of them here. We do this all on our dime. We get our customers started. We take the burden of the proof on our backs, and we prove it. We've done this for dozens and dozens of retailers and restaurants. So getting started and getting to production, we've seen, for instance, a very large restaurant went live in just 4 weeks. That was running a popular point of sale solution. They were taking orders at that table. We're seeing similar turnaround times for QSR. So yeah, very exciting, very fast to market, and very minimal investment up front compared to the options that are available out there in the market today.
And Todd, I wanted to go back to one of your comments, because I completely agree, and we see it in the marketplace too, where different technology timelines are just that, different, right? And so in the ability to partner with Mad Mobile and truly unlock that POS data, whether it's on Commerce Cloud or something else, absolutely leapfrogs the ability to drive more marketing and personalization, leading to more loyalty. So I certainly reinforce the fact that if you are in a long-term relationship with your existing point of sale system, you can still free up and connect the data and drive more personalization, marketing, and service to your guest with a solution like Mad Mobile's connector here, and then make future decisions as you see fit. But we got to free the data to drive the loyalty.
That's right. That's exactly right. And if you think about an investment that you can make in a future, I like to tell people, by the time they get finished ripping and replacing legacy point of sale and putting something different in, by the time they get through that deployment, that new point of sale is already dated. So it's like when you think about Salesforce, the amount of innovation that's going on in this space for cloud-based applications for the enterprise, it's just limitless what you can do. So you're really future-proofing when you think about using leaders like Salesforce to help be the backbone of these types of solutions. I did have a question. I think one about do they need to be trained for this? There was one on here about hold on, I think it went away. That was a good question. Let me see. The screen looks different depending on the POS. The screen can look identical to the existing POS, fixed POS in store. And typically a lot of restaurants start that way because they don't have to retrain staff. But we have been working with other customers that want to modernize that UI, so we can do things like suggestive selling and pairing, and they want to give it a fresh, modern look. And so we've actually partnered with Apple, and we talked to Apple about going to their design lab with certain customers to create a brand new kind of UI UX for modern retailers and restaurants. And so you can have both. A lot of customers like to start with just a complete mirror image of what they've got today, but then think longer term about how they can make that experience great for servers, require less training, very much more intuitive, like an iOS app should be, it's in the App Store. So great question. How are we doing, Ashley?
You're doing great. We're all done with the questions.
Oh, fabulous. Well, let me see if I think I have one more slide. So it was great. And thank you guys so much for the participation and all the questions. We really appreciate the time, and thank you. I hope you found this as interesting as we do. And Lindsey and I are both available. We do briefings with executives all the time, and very happy to meet with you, dive deeper into this architecture and how it might work for your specific concept, retail, restaurant. So please take our numbers down, contact us, any questions you have, any support you might need to bring this into the organization. We're more than happy to help. So with that, we'll go ahead and end our webcast today, and we will be recording this. And if you're interested, you can get a copy of it as well if you want to share it with the organization. So thanks everybody for joining.
Todd, I have to say thank you yet again to the entire Mad Mobile team. Our commerce platform runs some of the largest retail establishments in the world. And when we started talking, and it's like, we've got to help these restaurants in these times. We've got to, make something simple and easy. And you guys literally came to the table in no time with an incredible internal investment on your own. And so it's a win-win across the board, and we're all in this together. And we're helping to get everyone back to the new revenue driving normalcy that we all know and love when we want to go get something to eat. So thank you again for your partnership.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thanks everybody for joining. Thanks, Lindsey. We'll hope to hear from you guys soon, and have a great afternoon. We're going to go ahead and end. Thank you. Bye-bye.